All right, y'all. Have an update here. My gold trade, no, I'm sorry, my S&P trade. You know, as I said, the market that's been choppy today because it's kind of indecisive. It actually took the take profit for $15.
That's solid, man.
That's solid. And on this trade, I think I said $4. Can't remember, $3 maybe.
Which is really good.
That's really good.
That's a great return. So
That's a great return.
pull that trade up. So you got in. Yeah, look at that spike.
Wait, hold on. I'm going in again. No. So what happened was, y'all, was that I said, I think I got in like around here. Obviously, when I edit, I'm going to remember. But I think I got in like down here because I said price has been tagging this a lot today. It's been sideways, as you can see. And I said, I think it's going to try to go against this level right here, which is around 3459. It's the level it's around right now. And you saw, I don't know what happened, maybe some news broke out, but you saw it like break past it, right?
Oh yeah.
And obviously it's coming down now, but I just want to say that's sometimes what I think, like, because I trade, as y'all know, I do trade US 30. Of course, I'm very like cool with it and calm. But sometimes you'll notice that it trades heavily, but sometimes I think it's about the anticipation of like news. And that's how it like kind of breaks out sometimes.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's true. A lot of times the big breaks happen with some sort of catalyst, some sort of, you know, message or tweet or news release or something happens.
Yeah.
And then the technical is kind of aligned with the fundamentals, and there's some opportunities to look for, you know, setups. So that's a solid trade, man. So did we actually have news? I'm curious if we had something
I
come
don't
up.
know.
I bet you we did, because that spiked hard.
Yeah, we probably did have news. And by the way, I think I told y'all, I think I said like we're right now in kind of the teeter-totter of like, is there going to be another stimulus here in the US or is there not? So I think that's what the market is kind of depending on to see like, okay, like, is it going to continue to go? Because, you know, we've been on a high right now. Like, our economy's just been flying.
Right.
Or is there not going to be any news until after the election, which would obviously cause the markets to go down? So that's what's been kind of happening right now. And let's see if I can see anything today. It jumps 180 points as traders hope a stimulus deal can be reached before days end. So
okay,
that's something.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. So people are putting in more money because obviously they're like, okay, there's going to be a deal by the end of the day.
Right.
So, you know, obviously the more money that's coming in positively, it's going to cause the markets to go up.
Sure. Makes sense. Well, that's a nice trade, and on my end of things are still kind of just flat. We have, we've upped the leverage quite a bit, so you can see Euro Swiss is going against us a little bit here, not tremendously, down just a couple pips, but with a lot of leverage, you know, that does happen to make the market or make the returns move quite a bit. So we'll see if these these trades want to come around. USD JPY is looking good though. You can see our little uptrend tick here. Looks like it wants to continue. This little pin bar looking really solid. So let's see if we can get some continuation there. Unfortunately, this position is a little bit smaller than our Euro Swiss one. But we will see how this trade wants to play out, and we'll be back with an update. Will, do you have any other trades you're going to jump into, or are you just holding that gold trade for now?
Yeah, I'm just going to hold the gold trade. I'll update y'all if I go back in on something. And by the way, that's just what I want to say too. Like, if you're new to trading and you're watching this video, like a lot of new traders would also, after taking that take profit, they would be such in a hurry to get back in. But it's important, y'all, that, you know, when you win a trade, that you reevaluate like what went right and what would cause you to get back in on a pair for whatever it may be. So I just wanted to say that as well.
Definitely a good point. So we'll be back soon with an update, guys, and stay tuned.
All right, y'all. So you can see the S&P 500. I think we showed the big news, which was that we could have a stimulus by the end of the day. It could be completed. So, well, me and Nick were just talking, so I wasn't really paying attention. But as y'all can see, what has happened here on S&P, this is about to be a little trading lesson here. We actually, it looks like we have a break and a retest that is currently happening. So I could, and I'm thinking about it, I could, just off this momentum that's happening, have a buy position on S&P and say, you know what, off those news of today, which is positive, and I think this is ultimately how it's going to go, because we have about 4 hours still of trading.
Yep.
The market is now, in my opinion, going to go flying off these news. So I think for the rest of the day, it's going to be bullish.
Okay.
It's going to be bullish all the way.
Bullish into the close kind of thing?
Yeah, until the close, because we got such great news. So a trade for me right now would be, okay, we had good news. It went up, it went up, it went up. And by the way, this is the 15-minute chart. And then it went down. Even if we look at the 1 hour here, still, if you even look at the 1 hour, look at that. So it went down, but then it steadily went up when we had those news.
Right.
And that's where the break in the retest is happening. So I don't know. I don't know where it can go from here, y'all. But yeah, I'm going to be looking at it. And if I take a position, I will let you know.
Cool. Yeah, and I like that. I think it does look like it's broken out through that consolidation zone pretty nicely. So I would agree. It looks more bullish than bearish for sure. I think honestly, if I was to take that trade, I can't speak for you, but I'd be looking for a little bit of a retest somewhere to get involved there.
On the sell side?
On the buy side, because like let's say it comes back down to that previous high of the day there. If that were to happen, that gives you a pretty clearly defined like entry, stop region that's not too big, and potential upside if it does decide to close bullish for the day. So that's how I would look at it, but there very well might still be a trade just to take within this push off of the, because it looked like it, if you go back to the 1 hour chart or the lower time frames there, yeah, there you go. It did technically already retest. The trade might actually already be gone. Or, you know, at least
technically, yeah,
it might be already off that retest. See how it came down on that bar?
Yeah, on this one? Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see if that keeps going, but there very well might be a trade there still.
Maybe. I'll let y'all know.
All right, guys, so my trades are not going super well right now. You can see my dollar-yen trade still pushing down here. Unfortunately, what looked like a good start there did, in fact, kind of roll over. And unfortunately, we had something weird happen on the Euro-Swiss trade. One of the two positions got stopped out, and one is still running here. So I do have some free margin here on this account, and I've got to do some catch up because Will's got some great trades going on, and my trades are not going super well. So I do have a setup, though, that I want to try and take. At this point, I think I like the idea of actually getting short on pound Swiss. So I'm actually going to take the trade and then explain it in just a moment here. Let's see if we can take 0.10 here on this sell. And we're going to hopefully see some continuation there. But I'm going to talk a little bit about this position just real quick. This is a much bigger position than some of the other trades. But again, at this point, I'm either going to blow the account and lose because Will is already ahead, or I've got to do some major catching up. So I'm hoping that this breakout can hold. This is never how you should trade. You should never go all in on a breakout to try and catch up to someone else's gains. But again, for entertainment purposes, this is just a fun video. So taking a look here at the 30-minute chart, let me just talk real quick before I hand it over to Will. This concept here, we do have lower highs and lower lows, and I'm anticipating that we see a break further to the downside here on pound Swiss. Again, we put in this low, price tried to rise off of this, but was met very quickly with some strong sell pressure, and I'm looking for that sell trend to continue. Ideally, for me to catch up, I really want to see this trade break through those lows and keep going. That is what it would take for me to even catch up. So again, not looking so hot right now, but we'll see if we can catch up or if we're just going to blow this account trying to trade like an idiot. So we'll see. Will, what you got going on?
All right, so as you all know, with S&P, I wanted to wait, but I was like, you know what? I don't think so, because sometimes when you've studied markets, guys, this is what I'm talking about. When sometimes you've studied pairs, and Nick has probably said this a dozen times, honestly, to me, especially in forex, it's not about trying to trade every single pair that you can. Okay, if you get good at trading, like let's say 2 to 3 pairs, and you study its patterns over time, and you just know, right, just from like history, I feel like you're in a better chance in trying to trade everything. It's kind of like stocks in a way, right?
Sure.
There's so many things to invest in, but what should you do? Invest in what you know.
Yes.
Because you know it, and you're not, you know, in what you know, you may not particularly want even to earn money from it. You just know it because you're interested in it, so it makes sense to invest in it, right? So that's pretty much what I did today on S&P, because as you all know, I do trade the indices. I've just seen it so many times, and just being in the office with Frank, and just being back and forth with Frank. By the way, if y'all don't know Frank, maybe we'll pop up something in here about Frank.
And what chart is that?
SPX 500.
Nice.
Yeah,
Got some sell side.
Crazy move. Because news came out like a record number of cases increased.
Oh, we got some memories with Frank. He's at school right now. That's why he's not in the office lately. For those of you guys who are true A1 followers, but yeah, he's been at school for right now.
Yeah, but me and Frank, we always talk about, like, you know, the S&P, the indices. We've traded in here. Sometimes even like after work, even when it's time to go home, we're still like, you know, like little shrimps looking at the chart. A lot of the times, but throughout that time, we've really learned about kind of like, you know, the general rule of thumb. I don't know if y'all know this, but you know, the first 15 minutes when the market opens, we usually didn't make a move until it kind of decided, okay, this is the way that it's going.
Sure.
Me and Frank talked about this a lot. And I think today is just one of those cases. We have news as to where we may reach a stimulus at the end of the day. The market is just going to be hyped. And it's just going to follow those good news because the market wants like the best case scenario to happen.
Right.
So what's happening? We have an influx of people just throwing in money. We're going to see a stimulus. We're going to see a stimulus despite being in the pandemic. So that news is kind of triumphing the us being in a pandemic. So with all that being said, I put in another buy position here.
How's it looking?
It's looking pretty good.
Look at you.
We're
Guys,
up.
I'm gonna have to do some stupid crazy trading to beat him by the end of the day.
We're up $5 right
today.
now. I'm hot today off these news, and sometimes that's what I mean, y'all. Sometimes that's all it takes when you're trading, doing heavy momentum trading. Sometimes it works out, and then sometimes it sucks because maybe the market looks like it's going to sell off, and you get into a sell, and all of a sudden it's like a bull run. So you never know. But on this trade currently, I'm risking $3 again. And and my high is for, I think this take profit is like $13, something like that.
Not bad.
So we'll see what happens, y'all. I think the news, like I said today, this positive news is just going to just be like just spread it across the market as people buy.
And I think it makes sense. We do a lot of momentum-based trading in here.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm personally big on. You can see from my trades right now, not going super heavy today, down on my dollar yen trade, and not going super well on my euro Swiss trade. But again, these are super short term. Usually for me, momentum is looking at the daily charts and seeing what the trend of the month is.
Right.
But there is totally trends on the shorter time frames. Look at what Will's got going on right now. He's looking at something that is intraday, hitting the headlines and causing the market to move. And there's absolutely a trend there. So I think that what Will said, where you've got to stop in place. So sometimes it is going to suck. Sometimes it is going to be you get into a trade trying to follow that momentum, and the market just says, hey, not today, we're turning right back around.
Exactly.
And then sometimes when it counts, like what Will's got, unfortunately for this competition for me, he's got a really great setup where he's got a catalyst, he's got a good technical setup. He caught two really good kind of concepts. The first one was a range bound, kind of buying the lows in consolidation, just kind of anticipating, nothing's really hit the headlines. And then bam, sure enough, as we start the challenge, headlines hits, things start going bullish. And he even got in on kind of capitalizing on that idea of break through the consolidation, retest, and keep going off of that catalyst that he's mentioning. So really nice trades, honestly.
Thank you, man.
At the end of the day, if I'm going to lose to anybody, at least it's Will. So, you know what? Good trades, and hopefully some of mine can turn around. Not having the hottest day here, but I guess that's what happens when you turn the camera on sometimes. So.
That's just what happens.
It is what it is. We'll make it work. So
we'll make it work.
We'll be back with an update soon, if I have an account still.